Not investing is how you stay stuck. In that gap, it's only getting harder to be able to close. You just gotta do it scared. The gap between the person who's investing and the person who is not. That wealth gap, even though you're both working just as hard. See, a wealth gap is happening, and that gap, it gets to a point where it is impossible to close. And most people don't realize it's happening until it's too late. Picture two people, about the same age, same neighborhood, the same first job out of college, paying about the same salary. One starts putting about $200 a month in an ETF at around 25 years old. The other says, not yet. Life is happening. Let me get more stable first. Let me just figure things out first. Let me just get to a better place first. See, the thing is, they are both being responsible. They're both working hard. They're both doing what they think is right. But 20 years later, those two people will be living two very different financial realities. And the distance of wealth between them has absolutely nothing to do with how hard either of them worked. See, that gap has a name, and it's not luck. By the way, if you're interested in understanding investing long-term, the way that I was able to build an ETF portfolio, take my profits, able to leverage it, and build a real estate portfolio worth over $1.5 million, I have a live investing masterclass. Thursdays, 8 p.m. EST. Come on down. Come with your questions. Come chat with me. You just gotta register for it. I'll put the link in the description. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So the one who started, let's say $200 a month. Let's say they put it in a broad market ETF. Over time, they build confidence and understood the market a bit more because they're in it. They're seeing the cycles. They're reading more news. They're becoming more involved because now they are an investor. So then they gain more confidence to what? Increase their monthly contributions into their investment. And then they expand their ETF portfolio. Okay, a solid ETF portfolio that fits exactly their goal, their vision, their risk tolerance. They automated the best they could and they just left it alone. Okay, now let's say their goal was just, hey, to just build that on the side and leave it alone. Flash forward, they're 45. Now that quiet, consistent decision has grown into something that genuinely changes what is actually possible in their life. Not because they did anything dramatic, but because they let time do what time does when you give it something to work with. But see, the person who waited, there's a greater chance they're still planning to start. They're still confused on where to start. But now they also have a higher salary, but they also have a higher living expense. You see, same 20 years, completely different outcome. One decision. So here's what I want you to get as we move into this new season. The person who waited didn't just miss out on growth. They've actually fallen behind financially. Because while they were waiting, while life was happening to them, because lives, you see, the cost of everything kept climbing. We're literally living in this season right now. Housing, healthcare, education, groceries. The price of the life that they kept working towards, it's like the goalpost just kept moving. It just kept moving. So your efforts alone and the growth of a savings account is not going to allow you to catch up and exceed that. That is what not investing actually costs. The time you've lost. And now let me tell you why this happens to very smart, hardworking people. It's a belief that most of us inherited without even questioning it. It's a belief that stability comes directly through income. That if you just earn enough, security will follow. So you know what? Work hard, put your head down, get the promotion, save money, move up. That this idea, building up on a ladder, it still works like it used to. But see, the ladder did work once. There was a time when labor alone could build a stable life. When a working person could buy a house, raise a family, retire with something, and genuinely move up. I was at pickleball the other day, and my pickleball friend partner, he's telling me about his parents' life. Back then, only his dad's income, bought their first home, bought 2 cars, one for his dad and his mom, and they built him and his siblings and built a whole life around that. But we were talking about investments, and even back then, he says his parents really didn't invest anything outside of the job. And so here they are in retirement. And guess who is their investment plan? Who is their retirement plan? Can you imagine the weight on him? Housing costs alone have risen so much. Let's just take it percentage to percentage, yeah? It's risen so much to what people actually earn that the math that worked for his parents, some people's grandparents, it simply does not work the same today. The gap between what a working income can reach and what a stable life actually costs, that gap has been quietly widening for decades. So the person on this ladder that I'm talking about, this person is working just as hard as their grandparents did, probably even harder maybe. But then I want you to visualize the steps of the ladder is now wider, and no amount of physical effort is going to bring those steps closer to each other or is going to close the actual gap. The people moving forward are not climbing any higher on this sort of ladder vision that I gave you. They just got off it entirely. They stopped trading only their time for money and started owning things that grow whether they're working or not. And you know what's wild? I sit down with my banker friends, okay? These are white men in very privileged positions, okay? They're running top CEO or whatever, VP, whatever it is, divisions across these companies that we all know, okay? And they'll say, Rozy, if you are to tell your community anything, tell them to own something in America that grows. I really want you to take this as serious as a heart attack, because I don't even care if you make 6 figures, and you're not investing, you're setting yourself up for future poverty. If you want to take investing seriously this year, well, like I told you, we have a live investing masterclass. It happens Thursdays, 8 p.m. You just got to sign up. I'll put the link in the description. We'll talk more about this and bring your question, because it is high time we realize that investing is not some go and trade or some quick turnaround thing, but it is very critical. It is very needed in how we just build the foundation of wealth within our family. Those who like a little bit of maths, I always like to research and understand what's going on in the market. So the S&P 500 has averaged about 10% per year in return over the long term. This is through crashes, through recession. This is even through every single scary headline that you've ever read. It has recovered from everything that it's ever faced, and it has kept going. That means if you own broad market investments, you just benefit from that long-term growth automatically. You don't have to pick the right stocks. You don't have to time the market. Your portfolio grows not because you did anything extra or special that year, just because you own something. My ETF portfolio didn't grow because I was extra special, even though I believe that. But it doesn't grow because of that. See, I've created a portfolio that fits my goals. For me, I can take a bit more risk because I got a little cushion to the tush. Let me stop. So I played a bit more aggressive with the type of ETFs that I choose to build out my portfolio. And in the last couple of years, amidst all craziness, we've seen growth over 20%. But yet you're sitting on the sidelines, twiddling your fingers in chats, arguing about decision, waiting to see what the market will do. We don't realize investing isn't about when to get in, what's the hot thing, but it's just about time being in the market. So here you have these two people. One decision puts one many years ahead financially, and ownership was the only difference. And it breaks my heart because I see this consistently. Talented, hardworking individual. By every traditional measure of success, you are successful, but yet you're still stuck financially. You're just playing the wrong game. So what does the right game actually look like for you? The one where you sort of get off this broken ladder that I've described to you so that you can start building something. It starts with what I call your starting investment power. This is a number that you calculate, and you are able to determine that this is a number that you can invest in consistently every single 2 weeks or a month or whatever it is, consistently. It takes into factors like your income, your expense, your risk tolerance. We go more in depth on this on Thursday, so make sure you don't miss out. The link's in the description. Next, you have to open up a brokerage account. It's just like opening up any online bank account. There are many options out there. I like to touch on the big three. These are not the only ones, but they are reputable ones that I've come to find out. Each one has its qualms. Each one has what's good. Do your research. Find out what's best for you. Fidelity. Okay. Vanguard. Mr. Charlie Schwab. Okay. These are all great platforms to build on. Maybe you want to start very small. Fidelity is a great option for that because they allow you to actually buy small fractions of your portfolio. So when you know exactly what ETFs that you want to invest in, you're actually able to buy small portions of it instead of needing to make up that $400-600 in order just to buy a share. And mind you, let me give you perspective. For when I started investing, some of these top quality ETFs were only a few $100. And even back then, every month I'm buying, I'm like, oof. Today, even look at simple VOO. I talk about that. Look into it, research it. I think it's over $600 today. Wow. Because that means that your money has also grown. It's also doubled and tripled. What are you waiting for? So yes, sign up for a brokerage account. You're just setting up your account. You're not committing to anything yet. Yeah. Okay. So now when you have the account open, you then go ahead and pick foundational ETF. A great one to research and look into, as I mentioned, is VOO. It's Vanguard's broad market ETF. And if you're wondering what an ETF is, it stands for an exchange traded fund. So I came up with this explanation. Think of an ETF like you go to this cookout, right? You got a little bit of mac and cheese. You got a little bit of jollof, right? You got your protein going. You got a little mixed greens here, right? You got your salad. I mean, this plate is a party full of color, a party full of diversification on that plate. That, as you eat and you take, a little piece of everything in one, as I say, is a party in your mouth. But I want you to think about that as one solid ETF because each element on that plate can represent a company. It can represent an industry. And quality ETFs tend to have many companies in it. And so when you picked up that mac and cheese and you're like, oh, that's not good. It's a bit too soupy. Does it mean you throw the whole plate away? No, right? So one bad quarter in a company that's in a quality ETF is not going to tank that ETF. It's not going to shake your boots. But if you went ahead and invested in that one company and you don't even understand the parameters that are needed to invest in quality stocks and you see that thing dip, guess what you're going to do? You're going to sell. Are you with me? So it doesn't matter if one goes bad on your plate, right? You've got all the other elements, all the other companies, all the other mini companies to balance it out. That's diversification when it comes to investing. That's how you build wealth without losing sleep. You don't need to read any charts. You don't need to track anything. You don't need to go and sell and buy and stress yourself out. Then you just go ahead and automate your payments to yourself into your account on payday. You just buy more shares and you just make sure you do that every single payday because this is not going to be depending on motivation. And then we've already lost the battle. A system is what's going to make you successful. And even more importantly, don't forget to connect your why. Why you're investing in something. What is that ultimate goal for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones? What is that specific vision that you desire? Is it investing so you can set something up for your kids or your grandkids? Is it investing so that you can jump into real estate investing? Is it investing so that you can build out a private practice? Is it investing so you can take a year of a sabbatical and go travel the world? whatever it is. It only takes consistency and time, and you will create financial options that change the trajectory of your life. We deserve to live a good life. So when the destination is real, it adds more meat to why you're doing what it is you're doing. So here's what I need you to understand about the two people that we started off with, Peter Michael and Jake Michael. I just came up with that. Anyways, the one who waited is not some cautionary tale because they just made bad decisions. They are a cautionary tale because they made a decision that most people make. It's reasonable. It feels responsible because year after year, you plan to invest. A life is happening. Reasons are happening. The market gets unstable. So many things happen. The person who just started, it was just a few $100 a month, but they started. As they grew and they became more comfortable, they increased their investments. They managed their lifestyle. And by the way, they were not smarter. They didn't have so much more money. Remember, they all started off with the same point. They just understood one thing earlier, that waiting to feel ready when it comes to investing the right way is the most expensive decision you will ever make. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, this wealth gap will exist whether we like it or not. My question to you is, which side or what side are you going to be standing on? I'll see you on Thursday, because if anything else, you just gotta do it scared. You just gotta do it scared. You just gotta do it scared.